Okay, so we're going to start off by working in Instanet for a minute. We're just going to start an individual document. Going a little slow here. There we go. We're going to go from my realtor to Stratus. And in the info center of Stratus, if you look to the right, you'll see all the important links. You go to Instanet. That brings you to transaction desk. So we're going to start a individual individual document that we need signed. So you click, I'm sorry, I should start over. So here's the dashboard. You come to the left, this piece of paper is just forms, or right here are forms. These are the forms that we've already done. We just go directly to forms here or directly to forms here. So let's do some agency disclosure. And see, we have all of the forms uploaded that are MLS shared documents. And here we are, agency disclosure. So I have 4 saved on there. So I have different ones that I've already pre-filled out, but we're going to start a new one. And now when we hit add, we can create this form and start a transaction, meaning that we can keep a bunch of files together, or we can do a standalone form, or add a form to an existing transaction, a file that you already have going. We'll just do a standalone form for now. And here we are with the agency disclosure. We got to punch in your name. And you're the licensee of. Now let's say you're working with a buyer. You're going to click buyer. Then you're the buyer's agent. And if you want to do advance informed consent of dual agency with the designated sales agent, you're going to write a licensed sales agent. And you're going to do that twice. So we know we're going to appoint someone from the office as a licensed sales agent to the buyer and one to the seller should we have a dual agency situation for the office. We're going to add the recipient, who is, we'll say, John Smith. And we're going to make and obviously they're the buyer. So they're saying they acknowledge receipt of a copy of the disclosure. And we're going to write John Smith. And that's it. That's all you got to put into there for this. As you can see, there's preset areas to add the information. Now we're going to go to assigning, and we're going to click yes. Now what's great about this is you can add forms from different places. So if you have Google Drive or Dropbox and you want to put something in it, you want to upload a file from your desktop or the computer on, if you want to select more forms to put in. So let's say I want to get all this stuff out of the way by your due diligence. So I want to get the buyer due diligence in there. We're going to pull that in. May might take a minute because I'm working off my iPad's LTE. Okay, we got that. And we can go in and add more in a second. So now we have the signing. We can name what the signing is right now, which is called agency disclosure for buyer and seller. We can just make it agency disclosure for John Smith. Or whatever you want this file to be named, it'll be saved in this system and also as a PDF by that name. And there's a few ways you can send it to your people. If you're sending it to more than one person, you can do sign in line or SimuSign. Now, signing in line means that if you're sending it to two people, you choose the order that each person gets it in, and the first person gets it, and the second person won't get this sent to their email until after the first person gets it, reviews it, and signs it. Then it gets sent to the next person. Now, that might be used in lead disclosure. If we have all parties being sent the lead disclosure, you want to send it to the seller first because you don't want the buyer to sign before the seller has disclosed whether or not they have lead in the house. So they're going to need to get that first, fill it out, sign it, and then send it to the correct party. Then we have SimuSign, where it just sends to everybody involved at once, and everyone gets it, and when it's all signed, you get the final product, okay? And here's some advanced options. You can set this signing to expire. So if, let's say you want it to expire on Thursday at midnight, that means that if they don't sign it by then, they can't sign it. So if you want to give somebody an ultimatum, you have until Thursday to sign this or whatever, that's certainly possible. And then you could also set reminders that if they don't sign it, that every 4 hours, they will get a reminder. They will get a reminder that they need to sign it. Okay? Now we need to add participants. You're going to click on the participants section. And you can add somebody that you can just punch in their name and email and then try to save them as contacts you have them for the future. You can grab them from your contacts, or you can add yourself. For this one, I'm going to add myself. And if you're doing a new person, you're going to want to make sure that you hit save contacts so that you have them in the future. Now, remote signing means it gets sent to the email. In-person signing means that you could send it to your own email and they sign it and put in their email and they sign it with you. Or that you could just have them be a reviewer, where they just look it over, or just CC them in there. Okay, but most of the time it's going to be remote signing. We're going to click OK. Add them in. We're stuck here. Okay, let's make sure we got this right. We're going to add. There we go. I had a little glitch there. And we're just going to add. Oh, I've added myself. Looks like 5 times. So let's go back. And we're just going to, this is good, because if you put yourself in 5 times, you can erase. So all information will be permanently lost. If I erase Peter Grosso number 4, or 5, then we're going to continue to erase all the Peter Grossos except for Peter Grosso. Easy peasy, okay? Then, so we've added me. Then we can go back into documents, and we can add more documents. So let's say we still want to upload a file, and we want to do buyer property condition. Come on, where is it? Into my cloud drive. Buyer There we go. So we'll just choose that one, and that'll get added as well. Okay, so now we have everything we want. We can change the order if we choose. We'll leave it as it was. But you just click these to change the order in which they see them. Then we click on Design. This is where the magic happens. So for all the forms that are already on Instanet, it actually knows what to do. Oh, we didn't add me as a buyer. So what we'll do is, it has everything all lined up here. We just drag in the signature. So you go to drag and drop, and then the sign here. And then we drop in the date in the date section. So it'll add the date the moment that it signs. And then for this document, we need to mark it up a bit. We didn't fill in this form yet. So we're going to put in the property. We don't have a property for our man John Smith yet, so we're going to write to be determined. And the reason why is we want John to know all this information, not before he buys a house, a particular house, but before he buys any house. He needs to know this is what he's going to need to do. So it's important. It's good to give it these documents to them to review right when you meet them, if you can get that done, especially if you have them in the office. And we're going to put the buyer's name, which is John Smith. Okay, so you just come over here, you hit markup, and you click on the draw text, and then you can just click wherever you want to start the text, but you can also move the text once you're done, so don't feel like you have to get it completely right. Now we also have a pen here, so if there's something you wanted to draw or make an arrow for, absolutely can. There's also a circle. So if you want to circle something and highlight something like the well inspection, engineer's inspection, and things like that, you can do that. You can do the same thing with a square. You know, if you like squares better. And in any of these, you can go in here and change the color. So you hit that little icon there. You can change how thick the color gets. You can totally black that out. Or you can just highlight that. Look at the things in green here, okay? You could also do a highlighter, so if you think they really need to know this information, you can highlight, that's right there. And then you can strike out. So if you say, we don't need no stinking well inspections, you've struck out, okay? That's usually used for attorneys. You probably won't use that often, but it's good to know that you have all these tools. Okay, now we got to bring the signature in, and I don't think I mentioned, you got to change the size of the signature. So if you want to do it like that, you can flip vertical, horizontal, that stuff. It's really, I haven't found that to be necessary yet. And drop the date in, drag and drop the date in. Okay, and here we go again. I'm going to drag in the date. You want to drag in your signature, and I'll just show you guys while we have this space. What else can be done here? You can give optional signatures. So like if there is a part of a document that if they won't sign, they can sign everything, but they have a second part, maybe an addendum, where it says, would you like free ice cream every Thursday? Sign here. And then so it's up to them. If they really hate ice cream, they don't have to sign it, and it doesn't stop the rest of the document from going through. There's also, you can drag and drop initials and drag and drop optional initials. Okay? And then we have the X's that you can just pull in, and I think that's just for marking. And then you have the, should be optional X's that they can click. Now we have an and or. So basically you bring these buttons in, it gives you 2 buttons to push, and they have to pick one when they finally decide. So like if you, for some, let's say lead disclosure, if they can click that they have, they have knowledge of lead in the house, or they have no knowledge of lead in the house. They're going to have to pick one. Do they have knowledge of lead, or do they not have knowledge of lead? Okay, and then here's a section, oops, lost that. Here's a section here where you can stick in a spot for them to type in. So like, if we want them to type in, if they want some information from them that we don't know, we can put that section in there and they can type into it. Here's where you can just put the drag and drop signer's name, so it says it right under it. So in case they can't read that signature, they see it's by Peter Grosso, and the same thing for initials. So we can just put that, the initial thing there. That's that. Now what we're going to do is, since we agreed to that, we agreed to send this to Peter Grosso, I guess on behalf of John Smith. We're going to do that. We're going to click Next. And there's 2 ways that we can do this. We could just send it and send the uncustomized regular version of how Instanet sends, please sign this form, or we can mark up our own. And we just click on custom and we can say, hey, handsome, okay, you're looking good today. Oh, please sign this. And then we save that, and that's how it'll come across when we send it. So now that's all done, and we can go back in. If you change your mind about calling me handsome, which wouldn't be the first, you can go back in and certainly go back in and do that. So then you hit send, and out it goes. It goes to them, or me in that case, and they're going to get an email saying that there's something for them to sign. Now, you can go in here, you can check and see the progress. So you come in here, and you'll see, well, it's the type of a signature, and the clock says it hasn't been authenticated, meaning that I haven't opened it, I haven't agreed to look at it, and the clock says it hasn't been signed yet either. So we're just waiting on all that. So the email should have come across pretty quickly. Matter of fact, I think it's coming across right now. There it is. So we'll just open that up, and there it is. See? You can see here it says, hey, handsome, agency disclosure for John Smith. And then you can write, you're looking good today. Oh, please sign this. You can see that you're going to be right there underneath with your phone number, so that, you know, if they need to call you and they don't remember your number, boom, there it is. Okay, so we're going to click on here, and we're going to get a section where we can review and sign. So normally what would happen, is not going to happen here because I've already set it up, is they would ask the potential signer how they want their signature to look and everything like that. So I've already picked that. So we can click start, and it'll just take it all the sections. You can scroll through and read it and say, okay, all right, he's representing the buyer. That's good. Advance form consent. Sure, why not? And then we just click on there, and boom, it's signed. And there it is. See? There's my signature. And there's the date. Date auto-filled. You can see we struck out the well, everything else. Everything we did there is still there. And again, we're just going to click here. And now we have those sections. Remember, we got to choose. Well, there's the we had to check that box and exit, and then we type in here, "Hello, fella." We have to choose which bubble to fill. We have an optional signature. What about the ice cream? Do we want the ice cream? I'll take it. And then we decide. We click on that and it says, "Do you want to accept or decline?" We accept ice cream. And here's another fill. "Hello, fella." And nothing left is this one. So, and that's that. So now we go to next. Well, we have the initial. We forgot to decide to do the initialing. My apologies. And we forgot the optional initial. We're going to decline this initial. And that's it. And it says if we want to complete the signings. See how it prompted me when I didn't sign everything? So now we can stay and review. We can reset and start all over, but we're done. We're going to complete the signing. And once we click that, then and only then is it complete. And you'll get an email with the complete form. They'll get an email with the complete form, and it will be in this section as well. So I just clicked on the signing section. And we can check on the disclosure for John Smith and see how it went. And now we have the success flags. Successfully completed. So we can see signed, we can see the final document here, and we can separate the documents. If we need to just send one document to somebody, here they are separately signed right there. So that's good. You can see the history of what time things happened, and you can go to and you can see I got an email here showing the final document, and I can click on that and see it. And you can also click on this right here and see it through this lens, or pull it up as a PDF. And you can save it this way. So to your desktop, or send it out to the front office, or whatever you need to do it for. But there it is. Congratulations, guys. You just learned how to use Instanet. Thank you for your good work.